What's going on? Excuse me. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to practice. We're here on this, the 42nd day. Holy cow. When did that happen? Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. I hit the wrong button on my television. Sorry, chat. We'll be right back. Just gotta make sure this is all off and uninterruptible. Excellent. Cool. What's going on? Happy Thursday. Is it Thursday already? Today's Thursday. I know I say this a lot, but when did that happen? Feels like this week has gone by just like friggin' nothing. Crazy how that works. Today I don't really have a set something that I want to practice because I kind of want to practice everything. So we just made a funny joke about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in the stream title, but that's okay. I've actually, one of my worst habits is noodling, like when I'm preparing or like, you know, before a rehearsal or an audition or, you know, not usually a performance, but before streams especially, I warm up like an hour and a half beforehand with some Caruso exercises, and then I basically just like noodle around for up until stream time, and I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta quit playing, I gotta save my chops, I gotta like focus on other things, and I'm just like, for example, basically ran through most of Cling number 7, which I haven't really studied heretofore, but we're gonna play that one later because we basically already have it. It's kind of simple. It's a lot of chromatics, staccato chromatics interspersed with some arpeggios and some other stuff. But it's a really fun one. So we'll probably work on that one a little bit later. I have Neuling's Bagatelle up on the screen. I was starting to mess around with the opening bit to that, but that's freaking hard. Yo, Berkemanden, roses are red, violets are blue. I'm having a great day of practice. How's about you? How you doing, bud? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, see, that's the fun thing about Neuling's Bagatelle. It's for low horn, which is just such a cool piece in general. But let me see if I can bring this up because it's just I don't have it in my ear and brain with all the rhythms. Another day when Fawnbird sounds so good. Thank you, friend. Oh, I appreciate the kind words. Still too early to tell, I would say, but I appreciate that. Yeah, so we haven't started the timer yet. I'm just kind of just talking, but this is the start of Neuling's Bagatelle. Quintuplets, half triplets into ba 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 da da da. It's really, it just sounds so cool, but I don't like have it. I don't have it in my brain in the time, so I need to work on the rhythms there a little bit more. But that will be a little bit later because now it is time for scales. So, vote on scales. Got a preference for what you would like? We've done recently majors, natural minors. I think we've done Dorians, Lydians. So we haven't done like Phrygians, Mixolydians, Locrians. We haven't done melodic minors in a minute. Yeah. But basically, any scale is up for grabs. Any one that I know, I'll say. I don't know like pentatonic scales, not on guitar. I actually kind of know them on guitar, weirdly enough. But I haven't worked them out on the horn. Why is there a treble clef in between the notes? That's a great question, and that's one of the tricky bits about horn. So it's in. Come on up. So it's in treble clef, right? And then you go to bass for the low. So those low notes are. So it's kind of like, that's why I will play trombone etudes, for example, because French horn in certain, like second and fourth horns typically, they do have to switch between knowing treble and bass clef, depending on the piece, because the French horn is just a weird fucking instrument. Yo, 9321, I know bathroom scales. We know that one too. How are you, friend? Good to see you. Bathroom scales are good. I can't quite play those, even though this one would ring up about 12 pounds, I think is what we determined. 12 to 15, somewhere in there. Let's do Phrygians. Starts on scale degree 3. So an E scale has nothing in the key signature. A C scale starts with A flats, so it's, or as an A flat, so it's natural minor with a flat 2. Natural minor with a flat 2 is a Phrygian scale. Is that right? B, E, A, and D? Yeah, I think so. Must be hard to play. The low stuff for me is my weakest register for sure. Because when you go down low, and we've already wasted like 3 minutes, but that's okay. But when you go down low, you have to drop your jaw. You've got to move your corners of your mouth down, and like you make a froggy face and you anchor it. But when I was teaching myself learning when I was young, I got into a bad habit of what's called flopping the chops, which is going and hoping that the notes sound right, but they are insecure, they're not supported, it's very bad to do that. So I'm kind of working on getting a better low range, but it is very difficult for me personally. Yeah, it's just difficult. Sorry, come on. There's like ban evaders in my chat all the time. Y'all suck. Okay, let's do scales. We're gonna do Phrygians, and it's gonna be natural minors with a flat 2. So a C would be. Weird. I don't know that I like Phrygian scales. So then B natural has a C natural in the key signature. Weird. shit, why do I not know this scale? Is screwing with my brain because it's B natural minor, just with a flat 2, just with a C natural. That's it. Weird. B flats, then, have a C flat. Who thought that was a good idea? And then A's. A has a B flat in the key signature. What? A Phrygian. I don't know about this. I do not like that. In my ear, that sounds so wrong. A flat, then Phrygians, have B double flats. We're already into double flats. A flat Phrygian with a flat 2 has a B double flat. Is that right? Yeah. I'm not sure I'm playing those right. I feel like that's kind of right, but the flat 2 is really fucking with the way I can perceive these in my ear. Whatever. We're just going to move on. G then will have A flat. B, E, and A flat. Yeesh. F sharps have G naturals. F sharp has G natural, A natural, G natural, A natural, C natural, no, C sharp, D natural, E natural. Yes. D natural, E natural, G natural, A natural. It's only F's and C's. That's right. F's have G flats. F has G flat. What the hail? Then B, E, A. And D. B, E, A, D, G flat for F Phrygian. And the mic's actually picking up the low F's now. That's freaking exciting. It didn't used to. I think even just earlier this week, I turned the compressor off. Or at least really limited what it was doing. So then E has F natural. We know this one. E has a clear key signature because E is scale degree 3 of a C scale, which has nothing in the key signature. E is an easy one. E stands for easy when it's Phrygian. Yo! All right. Yeesh. E flat. E flat has F flat. What? F flat, G flat. So it's E, F, G, A, B, C flat, D flat, E flat. E flat is everything flat. E natural is everything natural. E flat is everything flat. That's kind of funny. don't think that was right. That one's tricky. E flat Phrygian is a tricky scale. D Phrygian, however, has E flats and B flats. D has E flat and B flat. So that's D. I don't know if we're going to be able to... First off, can we acknowledge a win where we see it? Starting and ending on the pedal D is not something I would have been able to do even 2 weeks ago. So we acknowledge that the D being there as a starting and ending note, as opposed to starting an octave up and then just finishing going down low, but starting it. And having it be present and sort of sustainable. That is improvement. D flat will not, though. D flat has E double flat. Is that right? Yes. E and B double flats in the D flat Phrygian scale. What? And then back to C, which has B, E, A, and D flats. That low C, it was so close to speaking. It almost wanted to speak. It wanted to speak, but it almost spoke. Oh, goodness. All right. Excellent scale work, ladies, gentlemen, friends, Romans, countrymen, whatever. Y'all know what I mean. Let's get a click going. Somewhere about 88. For some quick flexibilities. Excuse me. Oh. Holy cow. And pets. And pets indeed. And pets. I forget, honestly, I forget what that is chatting about. But I also agree. And pets indeed. Because this little dude, being a little schnoozy butt, he's so precious. Alright, now we go to 72. Okay. Maybe even slower, honestly. We might just go to, well, that's too slow. 68, perhaps? Yeah. Oh, ladies and gentlemen and pets, yes. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends, Romans, countrymen, and our wonderful pets. Now I see. Oh, goodness. All right, let's focus on Lip and Triller. About 92? 92 to 96, maybe. I think actually we did 100 yesterday. We can try 100. The whole point is to eventually speed them up anyways, right? So, and we're at 28 minutes. So around 35 or so, and we'll be done with lip trills, and we can move on to something else. And now for something completely different. It felt like it wanted to. Oh, we're so close. Oh, we're so close. That was sort of it. It just kind of was there. I was just gonna do 16ths, but it's sort of just like wait. We are knocking on the goddamn doorstep, chat. This is the closest I've ever been, even going back to college. I don't know that I've had a lip trill lock in with this, like, increasing frequency. Like, I've had a few when I was in college, but I never really, like, worked on them every day because they were so fucking annoying. But, like, we're close. McName! What's up, Fred? How are ya? Good to see ya. We're doing our lip and trills and getting pretty close. I'm like, whew, very nervous and excited because this is a technique that I've never been able to do, even 15 years ago when I was in college. So it's pretty exciting. 1, 2, and 3 is nasty. My dog is still in bed. My dog is in bed most of the time, especially during the week. He just like he hangs out, he chills, he does not care. Like I can be playing almost literally anything. I've done like horn call or the short calls. I've worked on Mahler 3, like super loud, like brrr, sort of excerpts and stuff, and he's just like, do not care. SLL 4309, welcome in. I love when fellow horn players come and join. How are you, friend? Good to see you. We might have like a minute or two left on Lippin Trillers. Just working through. I don't know if you have the Freudis book. If you don't, highly recommended. It is Thoughts on Playing Horn Well by Freudis. One of my personal heroes. I play on her signature mouthpiece as well. It's a Stork custom, the Freudis Revecra model. So, not to flex or anything. Yikes. Just want to say hi, but I have to go. See you tomorrow, maybe tomorrow when you go live. I appreciate you stopping by, McName. Have a great rest of your day, friend. See you next time. Whoo-wee. I haven't often done the lip trills going up from C. Those are definitely going to need some work, because I don't have those nearly as well as the ones from C down. Cool. Don't speak much English, but it's great to see horn players live. Hey, well, you know what? Music being the common language that it is, I'm just gonna say, I appreciate y'all being here. That's a universal. That's a universal that I think transcends language barriers. Peace, love, and music. We don't need the Freudis book anymore for right now. Natural horn. I like the I've been doing harmonic scales recently, and they have been feeling helpful. So quick run through. Woohoo! My goodness. That was 2-3. Okay, cool. Today I'm studying Beethoven 3. Dude, Beethoven 3 is one of my favorites. Solo from the trio. So are you doing the first, second, or third horn part? So the trio, right? Like the... Second horn. Of course, the second horn. I don't know this. Or did I? Is second the middle one? I never remember which one is actually which, because I never play the one that starts on the third. I always play either the low one or the high. Let's see. Horn excerpts. Beethoven 3. Trio. Here we go. That's not it. Trio. Yes. Second horn. Gotcha. Perfect. So the second horn being the low, third being the middle. I'm remembering. And for the Pacific Music Festival, dude, that's gonna be so much fun. Best of luck, and I hope all goes well. Hope you get in or get scholarship or whatever it is you're auditioning for. That's freaking awesome, dude. Best of luck to ya. 179 hours. Bleater. Not quite sure what you mean, but welcome. How are you, friend? Hope you're having a good week. Good Thursday. So then the low part. The low part's fun. It actually might be it might be my favorite thing to play, just as a da-da-da. First horn also I have a soft spot for because I just like the high part. It comes a bit more natural to me. Oh, it's a Holton. Yes, it's a H179. Yes, actually it is. It is. Sorry, I didn't completely. Yes, that is exactly the model that I'm playing. Wow. Good eye. That's crazy, dude. Yes. So you're clearly a connoisseur, aficionado, an expert in horn as well. How you doing? What do you play on? I've had my roommates in college played 8Ds mostly, I think, and I'm trying to think. One of the grad students might have had a Paxman. It was kind of a big deal. There's some Elkharts maybe in the studio. I would love to get an Alexander personally. It's kind of like my dream horn. But yeah, we'll see once I get a spare $20,000 just lying around for a custom-made, hand-hammered horn. Jeez. That's not very in tune. That does not seem like it is in tune very well. Yeesh. Well, that's fun. I fucking love Beethoven 3. It is such a good, fun thing just to play. Just to play with people. You know, it doesn't even have to be particularly good, particularly bad, particularly whatever. It just has to be... It's just fun, you know? Alright. Let's try a little bit of Cling number 7. I haven't really tried to practice this one all that much, except for literally today. So, but it looked pretty easy, and I kind of got the vibe of the intro part at least. So, let's see where we stand. So those I need to iron out the Have I seen Andrew Bain's daily warm-up videos? I think no. I take that back. I saw a video of David Cooper's daily warm-up videos, who is the principal for Chicago. I have not seen Andrew Bain's, who is the principal of LA, but I should. Is it, what does he particularly do? Because not Andrew Bain, David Cooper's sort of led me down a pipeline to Julie Landsman's Caruso method, so that's kind of my warm-up routine now. It's a lot of lips, mouthpiece, horn, embouchure, like workout sort of stuff. Good morning, Tapioca, to you as well. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. Minuet, apologies. I have a 3 of my guitars behind me. I never play them, but I just love to look at them. It's an Ibanez acoustic, Jackson Randy Rhodes model. My pointing is horrible. Ibanez acoustic, Jackson Randy Rhodes model, and a Jackson. It's like a dinky style bass. I don't know exactly. It's just like a basic bass guitar. But I rarely actually play them, unfortunately. It is a Holton Chrome 23. Welcome in as well. This is a Holton H179 is what I play on. Most of my colleagues, my classmates back at University of South Florida at 2010, they were on 80s as well. Why did I decide to play French horn? So I started in 6th grade on percussion. I think it's a funny story. And so by the end of the first semester, that was when, if you're familiar with the movie Drumline with Nick Cannon and Orlando Brown, they do, on snare drums, they're doing all these kinds of boom, boom, like stick tricks and flourishes and stuff. So basically by the end of the first semester of band class, when I started like learning all those, I had my friends, they had practice pads, they were holding them out for me, and I was doing all these, and my band director was like, okay, you're going to get bored with this, so we're going to switch you either to oboe. It was either oboe bassoon, it was one of the double reeds, or French horn, because they don't put the brand new 6th grader on French horn or double reeds because they're a little bit more difficult. So I was like, French horn, sure, whatever. And that was 2003, 2004 or so. So the rest is history. It's a warm-up focused on the fundamentals. That sounds awesome. That's exactly the kind of stuff that I do personally. I'm gonna, after stream, I'm going to open now. Andrew Bain horn warm-up. There we go. Perfect. So now I've got it open, and I will take a look as soon as we're done with stream, because I guarantee I'll be able to find something there to incorporate into my own warm-up. So I appreciate that. Yosuke Plays, what's going on, friend? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. How are you doing? All right. We were working on Cling, is what we were working on. That's kind of coming out, kind of sort of being there. Decent enough. Been a long day. How's about you? I'm sorry to hear that, but I hope it's not like some long days are like good and you're tired. Some long days are just like, will this one end? Hoping it's the former and not the latter. I'm doing well. The practice is going well. I'm really excited. We've got my class schedule for in the spring. I think I'm actually going to be able to participate in ensembles and shit. So I'm on cloud 9 right now. The sound is so cool. Thank you. It's pretty. This is a fun piece, and I'm going to be doing some like more solo, because this is just etudes for like working on technical stuff in a musical capacity. But later on, I'm going to be doing some of the actual solo repertoire. So if you're interested in the sound, let me tell you, there's better stuff to come. It sounds like something out of Tom and Jerry. Huh. That was not the mental image that I had, but now I'm going to try playing it with that as my sort of inspiration. And also, I am playing it wrong, is the thing. It's marked as forte. It's not supposed to be really like, it's supposed to be forte throughout, I'm pretty sure. So maybe the Jerry part is because I'm playing it wrong. Oh, yeah. Really good to hear. It's the good type of a long day. We fucking love that in this house. Hell yeah. And now you get to relax, enjoy the fruit of your labors, and just chill and have a good time. Have a good life. Life is good when life is good. I don't know what I'm saying. All right. So, excuse me, forte as written. Let's see if we can do it. Excuse me. This is a French horn. El Resex. How are you doing, friend? Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hope you're having a wonderful day. This is the French horn. We're just practicing a little cling etude. This is number 7. It's a really good. It's a really good bit of staccato, legato, working out all the sections. Good dynamic stuff. If I'm actually playing the dynamic stuff correctly. And it forces you to have good breaths as well, good conscious breaths, because you have to be able to hold consistently through these longer phrases where there's not really natural breaths, so you kind of have to play them through. So it's a really good thing for me to actually do correctly, if I can. If I can start on the right note. I should probably do it from the staccato chromatics, because you gotta really, really know your chromatics well. I thought I knew my chromatics, like, decently well, but, like... So it's good for this to reinforce. It's tough to gather the motivation to keep playing after school. Thanks for putting this out in the open. It's definitely giving me the itch to keep my lip up. Hell yes, dude! I'm glad to do my part to help inspire and motivate, because honestly, today, I didn't feel like playing either, really. I do my warm-ups about an hour before stream, hour to an hour and a half, the Caruso methods. Play for Mississippi State's Wind Ensemble. Hey, Hale State Gators are cool too. Appreciate you, friend. Have a good one. It's funny because our athletic department is basically made up of Mississippi State. You know, the athletic director, we had your football coach for a minute, we had a bunch of your assistants, and so, no hate for State, but I will say, well, it's a anecdote for another time, but next time I see a bleater, someone remind me to tell them at the time I went to a football game in Mississippi for my 12th birthday and cried because we lost. So, anyways, it's funny because in France we call that a corps. Yes, I did know that. In the olden days, used to have specialized corps as well. You would have a corps alto for a high horn player or a corps basso for a low horn player. Nowadays, corps players are expected to be proficient in both corps alto and corps basso ranges. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And it sucks in English to just call it horn, right? Because horn, unless you know what you're referring to, is kind of like, well, anything could be a horn. What horn? Which horn? You know? I almost wish we could change the word to be, this is now a something that is just one word as opposed to French horn. I just don't like that as much. But anyways, I'm rambling because my chops are getting a little fatigued. Hey, that sounded like it was there. Who knows, man? Maybe practice is not so bad. We talking about practice. We're not talking about recitals. We ain't talking about a concert. We ain't talking about nothing. We talking about practice. It's been a while since I made the Allen Iverson joke. Allen Iverson? Tracy McGrady? I think it was Allen Iverson. I kind of know ball. A little bit. Shoot. If practice wasn't so bad, more people would do it. But that's the thing, man. It's like, why is practice bad? Why do people not like to practice? Probably because you're going through, and this is kind of going back to, if Glockner was here, he'd be very proud of me. Victor Wooten's Music as a Language TED Talk. Why is practice bad? Why is practice not the fun part where we're experimenting with creating different sounds and figuring out music? Like, practice could just be fun. You know, if you just play fun, like, this is a fun piece. I'm having fun working this out. I don't know, maybe I'm the weirdo. And I fully accept that. Who is your favorite classical composer? Oh, that's a great question. People get bored quickly. That's also true, and I definitely have an advantageous brain wiring where if I get obsessed and hyper focused on something, I can just like power through and keep doing it over and over and over again without even like thinking about how much time has passed. So that's been it's been really good for me to like hyper focus on horn and practice and all that stuff. So that's been good. Favorite classical composer? I would have to say it's a great question. It's kind of an impossible question, but I can give you like a top 5 maybe, like Mozart, Beethoven, Richard Strauss, Haydn, Mahler, Brahms are up there. Franz Strauss has some really good ones. Saint-Saëns, Bach as well is incredible. Like it's hard to pick one. If I could give you a top 3 even, I will narrow it down to a top 3 in no particular order. Beethoven, Mozart, and Richard Strauss are probably my top 3. Wagner's so good. Like, you know, more of the opera side, which I'm less familiar with Wagner. I saw The Flying Dutchman performed by the St. Louis Symphony back in 2015, 2016, thereabouts. Maybe it was 2017, but it was like, that was incredible. I love playing the Götterdämmerung, the short calls. Long call is a bit of a chop buster, but I love playing the short calls. Wagner's great. I'm just less familiar with him than I am for like Mozart, Beethoven, and Strauss. You know, three monsters of horn repertoire, right? Again, Mahler and Brahms as well, and you know, Bach for the cello suites, and you know, Franz Strauss has an amazing couple of horn pieces too. So it's kind of like it's really hard to narrow it down too much. And also from horn repertoire versus just like in general, someone who I have really come to enjoy, William Boyce, is someone who I had never heard of before. I think this year started coming up on my Spotify. Boyce's Symphony Number 4, the first movement, is really fucking cool. It's a really great piece, and I don't know that it's very. He's very well known. I had never heard of William Boyce. Let's see. There's also in Vivaldi. Like you know the Four Seasons. You know some of the big hits, but Vivaldi is like his oboe concertos, some of his mandolin sonatas, concertos, and stuff. The man's got an actual like catalog, obviously, because he's one of the greatest of all time. But like, you know, it's crazy. Beethoven's definitely number one for me. If we're doing modern composers, I'd go with Joe Hisaishi. I have never heard of Joe Hisaishi. It's hard to argue against Beethoven, you know. It really is. Let's see, Joe Hisaishi? Hisaishi? Hisaishi. Joe Hisaishi. I see. I wonder if I know anything that he's done. What is Hisaishi-san worked on? Oh, he's written the score for Miyazaki. Okay, yes, abso-freaking-lutely. Yes, yes, maestro. Oh yes, oh yes. Howl's Moving Castle, Ponyo. Did he do? I mean, he must have done Spirited Away, right? Where was Spirited Away? My Neighbor Totoro, Kiki's Delivery Service, and Princess Mononoke, Howl's Moving Castle, Ponyo. Oh my god. It's hard to argue against Joe Hisaishi as well. I will say, Kiki's Delivery Service might be my favorite of the Studio Ghibli's. Ghibli's? I don't know. It's not like giblets. But that Kiki's Delivery Service holds a special place in my childhood because it goes back to the trip I took to watch a football game in Mississippi for my 12th birthday, and I cried because we lost. We had a van that had a little VHS player and TV inside it, so it was me and like two of my friends and my dad, and we drove to Mississippi to watch a Gator game, basically playing Kiki's Delivery Service on the TV on repeat the entire time. It was a fucking vibe, dude, and it was so cool. So it's hard to argue, but then you got, you have the bigs, Hans Zimmer and John Williams and Danny Elfman to an extent. Like, love him or hate him, but you can't really dispute his competence in his oeuvre. But like, there's a lot of really good, especially score composers, like musical score composers. There's some titans around today. Mahler 5, the beginning is beautiful. Mahler 5. Do I know Mahler 5? I don't know if I know Mahler 5. I know Mahler's 1 and 3 have good horn parts. I might have to listen to Mahler 5. Mahler, we've got 1. Mahler number 3. Mahler 1 again. Yeah, I don't know if I am familiar with Mahler 5. I think, do you know, I think it's Mahler 6. If my memory is correct. Yo, Berkamandin, have a good one, my friend. See you tomorrow, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. I think it's Mahler 6 that I saw in college, where at the very end of the 4th movement, there's this giant wooden box. And one of the percussionists takes a wooden mallet and just goes, whoop-ah, whoop-ah, whoop-ah. Because it's the very end. I think it's supposed to be some sort of like funeral. They're all like, I don't know. But I think that's Mahler 6. And I saw that one with the Florida Orchestra. Whichever one that is. I saw the giant wooden box one. And it was really, really cool. I have no memory of it other than that, but that's a pretty good memory. Oh, geez. All right. All right. Now let's see if we can get that in context. And there's no change from forte at the beginning. So there's no crescendo, there's no decrescendo, there's no alternate dynamic marking. So I think it's supposed to just be forte throughout. Let's see. Hey, that was a little rough around the edges, but kind of there. Let's do that again. That felt nice. Okay, so this one I need to reinforce probably. Okay, that sounds pretty good. There's a trumpet solo at the beginning of Mahler's number 5. Ooh. I love orchestral trumpet solos, dude. I love a good, clean, clear, sort of piercing, transcendent orchestral trumpet sound. There's few things, obviously, like, a nice horn line, something is a little bit better in my opinion. But like, I love a good trumpet solo. One of my favorite pieces growing up that I tried to learn, because I played trumpet for a couple years in marching band in school, and I tried to learn some of Haydn's the trumpet concerto, the one that they use in Yo, Lucifer. What's going on, friend? I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Hope stick around. We're getting into some good stuff, and we'll see you for practice tomorrow as well, buddy. We will. But the Haydn trumpet concerto, the bum 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 ba ba da dum bum 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 ba da da ba bum bum ba da 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 dum ba da dum bum 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 ba da 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 dum, the one they use in Squid Game, right? That was my favorite. And I never really got it very well, but it was fun to play. Trumpet is a very fun instrument. I love trumpet. I wish I still had my trumpet. I probably wouldn't play it just because the mouthpiece is like, it's got a different setup, and I don't know if it would be beneficial for me as a horn player to play too much trumpet, but it would be fun. I have my youngest brother's euphonium. No shot I'm gonna play that, but play a lot of instruments. Brass is kind of interchangeable. Like, you can go from small mouthpiece to large pretty easily. So French horn being the smallest brass mouthpiece I think that exists. It's pretty easy to noodle around on a trumpet or trombone, euphonium, tuba, decently well, actually. Like, you can get a fairly good sound because you have to, all of this now having more real estate to work with. It's kind of like freeing in a way, but weird. Anyways, all right. Opening bit, and then we'll move on to the next, because the next one's a nice variation on the theme. If I can find the damn note to start on, my goodness. Almost. Yo, see you next time. Minutes. I'm just gonna say minutes. Sorry. Thanks for hanging out, friend. I appreciate the kind words. See you next time. Have a great rest of your Thursday or Friday, depending on where it is for you in the world. Okay, let's actually play this correctly. Finally, come on. Okay, so in the interest of time and not like sitting here and working something out for the next like 20 minutes to maybe get an extra bar done well, let's just play something fun. For example, Franz Strauss. You can't see this on probably, but Franz Strauss's concerto is one that we worked on. Oh, a little bit last week, maybe. And oh, my shoulder. Let's see how much we remember. All right, not much. Oh my god. Where do I breathe in there? Where's my pencil? That's where you breathe. Right there. Cool. People also can get discouraged. That's true. That is true. And that's a very good point. Thank you for saying that, JL. J-I-J-L. I can't tell if that's an L or a capital I. Good to see you, friend. But that's a very good point. And I've been lucky enough in these first 42 days of practice to not really hit too significant of a setback or a plateau, anything like that. So the progress has been fairly consistent and regular. But when that stops, when eventually the plateau will come, that's going to be very discouraging potentially. And so finding a way to get past that or power through or whatever the case is definitely something that we're going to need to figure out sooner than rather than later. It's an L. JL. Now we know. Now I know, and I'm never going to forget. Guaranteed. Probably. Anyways. All right. So. Okay. All right, that was almost it. That was almost it. Almost. Got to push past those "I'm bored, I can't do it" thoughts. That's very true. Boredom for me I tend to get focused on one of two things: boredom for sure, but sort of hand in hand with that is getting lazy in practice, where I will just sort of mindlessly play multiple takes of a thing and not actually focus or not actually fix a thing, or just like going through the motions, right? And that compared to being or coupled with, because often they go like this: boredom leads to not focusing, which leads to a downward spiral in the quality of play, which leads to frustration, which leads to I got to do something else. And for those times, what I tend to do, I'll talk to you guys in chat for a little bit. Honestly, just take a break. Step away for 5-10 minutes. There's nothing wrong with, like, you don't have to get it right now. Unless you have a performance like in half an hour and you have to. But why are you, anyways? But another thing too is doing pedal tones, which is a reset recovery sort of exercise. And I encourage you, no matter what you play, is find something that is a recovery exercise. For myself, and I think for brass players in general, it's going to be like pedal tones, long tones. So long sustained, for me, it's a low F sharp. And usually by the third one, I'm like, I can feel, okay, I was focusing too hard on my high embouchure setting, for example, playing too much up high. I was getting tight, not as responsive. Blow it out, and I find, for me in particular, doing something like that and then going back to playing something like this. Hopefully this doesn't just immediately undermine everything that I just said, but it's not perfect, but there were parts on that I had been struggling to get prior to doing the recovery that I got this time. And so it's just a reset. That's one thing that's helped me a lot when I've sort of been struggling to do something or break through, get something right after trying for repetition after repetition, is change what you're repeating. Break the cycle, because clearly that isn't working. Right? So do a little bit of recovery, maybe try it again, maybe try it something different. So that one wasn't perfect either. So maybe we just do practice a different phrase. Instead of doing the whole thing in context, split it up. Do whatever you can to make it different, to make it not the same, is kind of how I've been approaching practice. And I don't think we've really hit too hard of a bit of frustration or boredom, really, here and there, but not super much, not a lot yet. It's only day 42. We've still got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and I cannot stress this enough. Hundreds, if not thousands, probably thousands of days of practice left. So, 42, we're literally just starting. And that was almost perfect. Apart from that, the third to last note, I'd say that was damn near close. And Just like that. It's freaking magic in the practice room. We're kind of getting it. It's incredible what you can accomplish if you just have something like, for me, it's having a recovery exercise. It's having those pedal F sharps that I can be like, you know what? Let's take a quick 5 minutes. You know, if for strings you're like, okay, we can't do this right now. We're just gonna strum some guitar chords. We're gonna do some easy arpeggios up and down, or whatever the case may be. Find what that is to reset you, because that's, I think, something that I've been doing much better than I have in the past, and I have very much struggled with this in the past. Okay, let's do this whole bit in context. And that was kind of there. It wasn't perfect. It was not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but like, I'd say that was not bad. One more time and then we'll move on. I didn't breathe as much as I should have in the middle of the phrase there, but it was kind of there. Thank you so much, JL. I appreciate that. It feels like it's sort of coming along. That's a great feeling, man. Have I ever tried learning circular breathing? I have not. I have not specifically because I think it's more when I was in school, I've been told that circular breathing is more useful for, say, clarinets and oboes, those sorts of woodwind instruments. I don't know if it's particularly helpful for brass and for horn. None of the method books and theory books that I have really talk about it, so I kind of don't bother. With that said, I whistle a lot, and so I've gotten really good at sort of equilibrating the tone and timbre between blowing out and sucking in air. So like, so it's kind of almost circular. So I can whistle kind of infinitely just based on blowing out or sucking in. But for horn, no, not something that I not a high priority for me. I'm not sure if it's particularly useful for horn in particular. But that's a great question. That is an excellent question. Okay, this middle section up until you get to where it gets interesting is boring. So let's make it not boring. Oh my god, that's so annoying. Not bad. Not too bad, not too bad. Oh my goodness. Whew. It's getting a little warm in here, everybody. Ugh, I'm actually sweating. It's fucking crazy. Oh my goodness gracious. All right. This part is difficult. And it's difficult for one reason, and we literally just like talked on it. It's boring. It's boring, and I don't know what to do with it. The melody is not super interesting, and it's like maybe the orchestra has something going on here, but it seems like for the horn, it's just like, eh. That's not bad. My chops are feeling it. I can tell you that with 100% authority. Whew. One thing that I think is tripping me up in this passage in particular is the timing on the octave jump here. That one was there. That one was there. That one felt really good, you guys. Does my face get tired from playing? Yeah, it really does. Yes. It's at a certain point, and before I stopped playing 15 years ago, I had been playing for like 8 years. So I had a very decently developed embouchure and musculature in my face, which has largely gone away over the last 15 years. So it's kind of the exercises that I'm in warm-ups that I do are focused on strengthening and reinforcing what my embouchure is. But yeah, getting that stamina back. Like I used to be able to play literally all day. I had ensembles, I had one-on-one lessons, I would have my own individual practice time outside of ensembles and rehearsals and all this kind of stuff. So like I used to be playing for like 6 to 8 hours a day, when I was in college. And now it's obviously I'm struggling at the end of 2. So but it's the tiredness really comes from a few things. One, it's engaging so much of your core and your diaphragm, your abs, your back to like have good breathing control. And I think that when I get into these bigger, louder, fortissimo sections, and you see me like starting to sweat, it's because I'm using my entire torso essentially to push air through the horn. So it's not even as much your face at a certain point as it's like your entire body, engaged in playing music. It's really more of just your entire body than you might think about. So that's why I start to sweat. I did quit for a little bit. So I started college as a freshman as a horn major. And long story short, after my first year, then I switched majors, quit playing horn for about 15 years, essentially. Did a whole, like I say, it's a long story, but that was 2011. Yeah, when I quit. I picked it up here and there, but it didn't sound good. And then in 2019, I played for about 6 to 8 months there. But other than that, yeah, it's been basically 15 years. 14 to 15 years. I rounded up. I say 15 for easy math, but since I've been playing. You have to be an athlete to play French horn. It's not just French horn, although, certainly you do have to have some level of physical conditioning because it's a physical act. It's an artistic act, but it's very much physical. The warm-ups that I start with every day is called the Caruso method. It's not a musical exercise. It's very much a physical, it's a gym, what my buddy Glockner calls the musician's gym, because it's working on strengthening all the muscles here around your lips, all the muscles in your cheeks, in your chin that give you the fine motor control to really, really control the notes and the dynamics and the tones and the colors that you're playing with. So when you develop all these things, it allows for you to think about them less and just play musically. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to get into, is not having to focus on what is my mouth doing? Can I play these notes? It's like the notes, whatever, what's the music like? And that's when you really level up from like a intermediate / amateur to really the next level of advanced. Why did I get away from playing? Okay. Long story, slightly less short. I didn't feel like I was in the right program for me. I had some disagreements with my professor, and he was not a very encouraging individual. Um, his underlying ethos was, as soon as you graduate, you're my competition, because he wasn't just a professor, he was also actively performing with the Florida Orchestra. He was second horn at the time, and now he's assistant principal slash utility. But he basically said, if you can do anything other than play horn, I'm going to make it my mission to make sure that I steer you towards that other thing instead of horn, because he, as a professional musician, and I get it, right? Like, you want to win jobs. You want to not have someone come up behind you who's better than you and beat you for a job. I totally understand that. But that is diametrically at odds with your job as a goddamn professor trying to teach people. And so at the end of the first year, I got very discouraged. Life happened. I got sick for a week. I took a trip for a week, and I essentially didn't play for a month there. And then I was starting to think about, do I really want to go back to horn? And at the time, the answer was no. It was no. And so I changed my major to accounting. I got a CPA license. I worked in tax for 8 years. And now here I am. So that's the slightly less condensed version, but yeah. Anyways, we got 12 minutes of practice. Let's practice some shit for 12 minutes. So that's probably about as good as it's going to get today. We'll move on and change things up. And this is also a good practice strategy, or at least one that's been working out for me, is not trying to go too hard into perfection territory. Make progress and improve, but don't, like, I could spend the rest of practice and then some getting this perfect. But that's just going to lead to frustration, burnout, and annoyance. So let's move on and play something more fun. It's hard to be taught by a person like that. In my experience, anecdotally, personally, it was impossible to be taught by a person like that, because it was just like it just was not a good environment for me to learn. Like, and again, I don't begrudge the man, because he's looking out for himself and his livelihood. Like, I get that. And in a way, it's actually like an optimized ideal play when you think about it from his perspective. He not only has his job as a performer, but he's further securing his job by discouraging people in the area at the local college from actively pursuing. Because I could have fucking stayed with it, and by my sophomore, junior year, I bet you I could be taking auditions for that same orchestra, because I was good. That's the other thing that pisses me off, is that I was good. By the second semester, I had auditioned out of the university concert band. You got 3 levels: the orchestra, wind symphony, and then the concert band. Freshmen, typically, they play in the concert band, right? They're freshmen. you don't know shit when you come in as freshman. So first semester, fourth horn in concert band, whatever. I auditioned poorly. Second semester, after I had instruction, I auditioned second chair in the Wind Symphony. I was fucking good. By my second semester, I was like probably mid-tier in the horn studio, which when you consider that all the upperclassmen and graduate students that were there too, I felt like I was, especially among the freshmen. It was me and my good buddy, I think, that were probably two of the higher performers. He actually auditioned second chair in this orchestra, which I was endlessly jealous of. But you know, it's all good because he's supremely talented, but he's also the nicest guy you'll ever meet. So it works out for him, you know. But yeah, like I was good. I could have kept with it, and God only knows where I would be right now had I not been so monumentally discouraged and actively, like, you know, pushed away from pursuing it. Anyways, at the end of the day, such is life, and it's all just a what if, so you can't spend too long, you know, thinking about stuff like that, but I'd be lying if I said I never thought about stuff like that. Let me make sure that when we go up to this G, we're playing U, trigger 1. Just makes the transition a little bit easier. Yo, Steampy, what's up, friend? How are you, bud? Claim the new game on Epic. It's similar to Megabonk. I love to hear that. I do not have an Epic account. And I don't know if I want one. But I will definitely investigate. I appreciate you looking out. Because honestly, I haven't even played Megabonk in so long. And there's some new fun shit that I gotta do. I don't know if I have the time for another Megabonk. You know? I remember how I wanted to play. Do I remember how I wanted to play that? I don't think I do remember how I wanted to play that. That's it. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do... Oh, I can link it with my Steam? Okay, so if I go... You're telling me I can go into Steam, but I have to create an Epic account, though, right? I don't think I have an Epic account. I don't know if I want an Epic account. I don't know, man. It's a bit of a tough sell, to be honest. Free time is at a premium nowadays. what with all the study and practice we're doing, you know. Shoot. Okay, so I wanted to do dun 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 da 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 da. So here, trigger 1 2 1 2 1 0 1 2. Epic always has free games, meaning more money saved. That's very true. I have heard, like, yeah, but here's the thing: is I also subscribed for many years to Humble, and so I was getting for like $12 a month. I got like 10 games a month. So I did that for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. I have shit that is probably languishing in my Humble account that I haven't even claimed, that I might not even be able to claim anymore. I've got like 300-400 games in my Steam, I think. It's a hard sell, I've already got so much shit to play, and I don't play anything anyways. I really don't. Like, if I was gonna play anything right now, it probably would be like Megabonk for the update, especially. It looks like a lot of fun, but I just don't have time. It's a sad reality about growing up, Eventually your priorities change a little bit. And then here you are 5 years later, and I haven't played a game in like I don't know when. All I know is French Horn. That's actually kind of sad. All work and no play, I should make time for some games. Oh, goodness. 2 hours! We got practice time. Yo, gonna head out. Been great hanging as always. Have a good day and happy tootin'. Thank you, my friend, and same to you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you later, buddy. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, goodness. Hi, buddy, man. Welcome to the chat, or welcome to the stream, my dog, little Paxson. What's up, buddy? You trying to tell me that I practiced enough? I mean, yes, we made time, but we still. I would like to get through this. I would like to play this a little bit. Can I play this a little bit, and then we'll go outside and have some lunch? And then we're gonna go and have some lunch. I mean, I'm gonna have some lunch. He gets breakfast and dinner, but he's so sleepy, bud. All right. Do you wanna take a nap for another like 10 minutes, and then we'll go outside? Oh goodness, he's so stretchy. All right, hey, can you come up? You wanna come up, please? Big jump. Big jump. Come on up. It is a big jump. He's a little guy. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. All right. I think we're gonna pause for a second. Give me this, because I think that means he needs to go outside. So we're gonna take a quick break to stand up, stretch out, let my dog use the restroom. I'll probably go to the bathroom myself and grab some water, and we'll be right back. We're gonna finish out with this the animato of Franz Strauss's concerto. So I'll see you then. Right back. Okay. Welcome back. He has gone outside. He has peed, and hopefully that means we'll have at least 10 more minutes of practice we can do. His name is Pax, P-A-X. It's not the best name. I named him with an X when I got him in 2013. His name was Sherlock when we got him. I wasn't not a huge fan of. He didn't seem like a Sherlock to me. So yeah, we just couldn't figure out what to name him, change his name to. So it was like we decided Pax, but it works because it's funny. I call him like Paxson, and then if you're familiar with the Key and Peele sketch where they do the East-West football game, they have like crazy names. There's one dude whose name is Xmas Jackson Flaxen Waxen, and so what I do is I call him Paxson Jackson Flaxen Jackson Flaxen Flaxen, like, you know, just it's really fun, and he kind of likes it. It's either he likes the names or he likes the pets and enthusiasm that I give him while I call him those names. So, you know, one or the other. But yeah, he's almost 13. It's crazy. March 11th, he will be 13 years old. Absolutely wild. I wonder if I remember how I worked on this before. My first trigger is slow. Just an extra drop. Yoink. What the hell? We'll do 2 drops. Yoink. Okay. I just need you to be able to play for like a little bit more. Better. Holy moly, I forget all of this. All right. So, let's that's why. It's da. That's it. I've been playing it wrong. can feel it, like, and maybe this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, but I can kind of feel like as I'm pushing out my air, I can feel like my back muscles like contracting in, which maybe is incorrect. I feel like it should be more from the stomach than the back, maybe, because tension, and you don't want to be like tight and tense. I don't know. And honestly, I'm kind of getting, especially in that onomatopoeia passage, all those fingerings are starting to wear a little bit on my carpal tunnel, perhaps. I really need to get a hand strap. That would help a lot, because what's happening is I know there's a lot of, my pinky is being caught on this, and it's kind of helping to support while these are moving around, and that is a lot of strain on your wrist here, where the ligaments all come into the carpal tunnel, like right here. So what I need to do is get a hand strap to where I can rest the horn more on this knuckle as opposed to my pinky here with this ring. I don't know if you can really see, but there's a ring that you loop your pinky into, and it kind of supports. I don't know what I'm trying to show y'all, but anyways. Oh man. And like right there, I'm sweating. You know? Another thing, and this goes back to, you know, what gets tired as you play. If you look up Radek Babarak, I think it's Radek Babarak. I'm so used to saying Radek Babarak, but I think it's Radek Babarak. If you look up him doing Strauss's Horn Concerto No. 2 on YouTube, and you notice by the end of it, that man is sweating. Like, granted, he's actively performing under the lights, full tuxedo, what have you. But like, it is an aerobic exercise to play an instrument at a supremely high level. It is very physically demanding that you might not think about it, you know? And this is the importance of recovery exercises. After playing that high for that long, you bet your ass I need. Oh my goodness. I don't know that there's a whole lot more that I would like to do with this piece, and indeed any piece more today. Other than, you know what I am going to do? Just because I am currently working through them myself. So this is a warm down that I like to do. It's a Caruso exercise. So there's a few general rules that you want to follow as you go through this. And it's very important to follow them to the letter. This is part of the gym, the physical workout that I do. It's not a musical thing, right? So it's you have the musical, the interpretation, the stylistic, the beautiful, the whatever. But then you have the physical side, which is, you know, drills, exercises. It's the same as a dancer, right? Think about music as dance. There's so much artistic expression in the way one moves one's body as a dancer, but you can only do that if you have the physical capability. You know what I mean? The coordination, the grace, the hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of hammering out your fundamental techniques to be able to perform in an artistic way, right? So, with that in mind, one thing that you do, or the following are rules for every single Caruso style exercise. You begin each one with a full measure of subdivided time. You keep subdivision in your head, especially notes 3 and 4. You breathe on notes 3 and 4 such that you're ready to play on 1. One of the biggest things to be aware of is that you keep your mouthpiece set, intact in the rests. You don't keep it firm on the corners. At least I don't. I feel like my embouchure is decently well developed. But you keep the mouthpiece on your face in between the rests so that you don't move. So for example, what it looks like, and with the mouthpiece on your mouth, what you're supposed to do is breathe through your nose, which makes it kind of tricky, and maintain even and consistent pressure across both lips as you descend, which is not normal playing kind of stuff. But so this is kind of how it goes. 1, 2, 3, and And it's supposed to be like, you're supposed to maintain your embouchure set as you descend, which is very difficult once you get down into that specific range called the break register, where you need to generally do an embouchure shift of some kind. Drop the jaw, corners go down. So normally it would be... See, it almost sounded the very, very low one. But that's all. It's just it's an embouchure training, so that as you descend, it focuses on strengthening your embouchure set down into the low range, focusing on consistent pressure, as opposed to my tendency is to reduce pressure in the low range and sort of I have a flop your chops bad habit, so I don't really want to try and demonstrate it too much because I might fall back into it. But it's basically just like, leading to unsustained, unsupported, poorly in tune, forget about articulated sort of notes down in the low register. So making sure that you have a good, consistent, supported, reinforced embouchure down low is very important. So the articulations down there, in the low register in particular, are very hard, very nasty. It's why I struggle sometimes with some of these clings that I do. If you'll notice, for example, number 7 that we were doing earlier, they have these arpeggios going quickly from high to low. So for example, we actually didn't get to this one in number 7. That's why it's not as familiar. A better example is actually number 12. And actually, that sort of was kind of there. Huh. So being able to go from super high to super low like that, especially quickly as an arpeggio, has always been something that I haven't been very, very good at. But for some reason right now it kind of worked, so I'm tempted to leave it on that. But I kind of want to do it one more time. Oh! One more time. Surely this won't be bad. All right. I probably shouldn't have tried to play it again because that was worse. But that's okay because I say that is time. Whew. Goodness gracious. Awesome. What a good day of practice. I hope everyone is hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I know I will. I'm tired. Daggum. That was a good day. I'm like, we not only played a brand new Kling that we've never played before today. Got it decently, the opening at least, decently done well. Our lip trills are really coming along. We got maybe one or two like popped in there. That's fucking cool. And Franz Strauss's concerto is, I'd say, coming along as well. So that was a good day of practice. All right. I'm very tired. I gotta go now. Thank you all for hanging out. Oh, it was a joy to see each and every one of you. And I mean that. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.